Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of That Cruise Show. Today, as you can tell, we're going to be talking about gorillas, reindeers, and Minnie Mouse. No, really, we're going to be we're going to be talking about Halloween on cruise ships. Even though this year there will be no Halloween on cruise ships, well, there might be for staff that's on there, but crew, but not for any of us. So James and I have actually never been on a Halloween cruise. I was about to say Hawaiian cruise, Halloween cruise, but Ashley has, and I have found some stuff to talk about on it. I've been for other holidays, but Halloween seems like it would be the most fun. Um, so we're going to talk about that today, but is there any new news at all we'll get to first?
Yeah, there is. I have a few things here. One of the major ones that's been in and out of the news the last couple of days is that TUI, which is affiliated with, I believe it's UK based, or it's based in Europe, and it was doing a Greek Isles cruise, and 12 crew members tested positive for COVID. The test came back positive, and so they notified the proper authorities, and the government in Greece had them tested, I think it was 3 more times, and all of the tests came back negative. So apparently all 12 of those positives were false positives. And the terrible part about this is that the media just ran with it. They were like, oh, 12 crew test positive, and they didn't wait for the rest of the story to come out. So they kind of jumped the gun a little bit. And of course, that kind of started up this whole finger pointing, scapegoating thing again, and it's calmed down a little bit. I think they kind of nipped it pretty quickly, but just goes to show you that those tests, I don't know why they would have gotten so many false positives, but it's good that a lot of the lines are talking about when they do resume about testing crew and passengers more than once, just to make extra sure, because as we're seeing, the tests are not always reliable. Some good news though. A few ships have new ships that are coming out. Carnival Mardi Gras departed for sea trials on Monday.
Ooh, yay!
Yes, they're making progress. The Fincantieri shipyard today, I believe, celebrated the delivery of the newest princess ship, which is Enchanted Princess. And Meyer Werft, the shipyard, delivered Saga's Spirit of Adventure. So some new hardware coming out. I know we were talking a few weeks ago about how some of the shipyards have slowed down their operations. So this is a good sign. And the big news, too, that's really, I'm kind of on the edge of my seat. I'm not normally an anxious person, but the last couple of days I've been doing everything short of like pacing and wringing my hands. The CDC's no sail order is set to expire today. And allegedly, the CDC wanted to push the no sail order, push the extension into 2021. And the White House overruled them and said, we'll push it until October 31st, which is when the CLIA affiliated cruise lines said that they would voluntarily cease operations anyway. So that would give them an extra month to kind of review all of those protocols that were recommended by the Healthy Sail panel last week. And hopefully that means we're getting near the end of this tunnel that we've been in for the last 6 months.
So is what you're saying is that if we want to sail again in 2020, we need to go all vote for Trump?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Leave that politics out of it.
Gorillas for cruising.
I'm not going there. But today we'll be talking about Halloween, which is always a fun subject. Holiday cruising in general is pretty great because the lines go all out. They do all sorts of different fun things. But since Halloween is so timely, I guess that's what we'll be talking about. And just to preface all this with a statement that this set of ears is really giving me a headache, so I might not make it the whole time with them on my head, but I tried.
I'm just going to say with Halloween is my favorite holiday. It's so much fun to just get dressed up. I think last year we had 3 different costumes, James and I, different days on Halloween. We won best costume at a costume party, and I'm sure there's going to be no parties this year. Last year he was a rubber ducky. He was my rubber ducky, and I was dressed up as a shower curtain looking over kind of thing with my hair up and all that. We also went as, what did we go as last year? Ginger, and what were you, James? The skipper?
The skipper.
Yes.
And a couple years ago, I was a dog, and she was my my master.
Okay, let's just gloss over that one.
It's all fun. Nothing kinky.
I don't remember you being the dog, but
I remember I had that poodle mask.
Yeah, but I was not dressed. I always like my own costumes. I like doing it up. So if I was on the cruise line, I would definitely do it up and have a blast. During regular times, a lot of, don't bring a mask, especially like James's mask, on a regular cruise, because they will tell you to take it off and put it away. Any time of year besides Halloween, I would say they always say masks are not allowed. So, there he goes again. But anyway, let's get to it. Ashley had the experience. Oh, there's his regular face. He morphed back.
I gave up. Ashley was complaining about her ears itching her head. Well, my mask was itching every part of my head. So, I'm still in costume now. Now I'm not the rock and roll gorilla anymore from the Cadbury commercial. In case any of you don't recognize that reference, I'm just the rock and roll captain or something. I don't know. Captain
or from baseball games. That's where we first saw the video.
Yeah.
Do you know what we're talking about, Ashley?
I have no idea. No idea. But he reminds me of there used to be like the precursor to Chuck E. Cheese was Showbiz. And there was a gorilla that I think he played drums or something in the band. And that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. But you know Phil Collins. Of course you know Phil Collins. What's the song? What's the name?
In the night, or in the air tonight.
In the air tonight, oh dawn, kind of thing. There's a video, Cadbury's video, and the Padres would play it like if we were close at the end and we were gonna win, and the gorilla goes and like starts drumming the hell out of the drum part.
Why? Why is there a gorilla in the video? I don't understand.
Actually, honestly, I have no freaking clue why the video. It makes no sense.
What does this have to do with Cadbury?
Because it's cool.
What does it say at the very end of the video? It says something, but it makes no sense. What does it say at the end of the commercial?
Hold on. I didn't want to play too much because I didn't want to get a censor for
Dead
it.
air, guys, dead air.
But
I know, really, right?
It just says a glass and half full of joy.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm super bummed that Halloween's not really happening this year.
I know. Do you usually go somewhere or do something?
Yeah, usually some sort of party or even just getting dressed to hand out candy. I love costumes and making costumes, and I was so sad this year that I wouldn't be able to do it. So I actually did a virtual 5K last week for the Philadelphia Flyers charities. And it was their mascot is this strange, fluffy orange creature called Gritty. And they have a Gritty 5K to raise money for charity. So I made a Gritty costume. Which was elaborate and very difficult to run in, but it kind of got me my costume fix for the year, I guess.
That was pretty awesome, and you won, right? Ashley, didn't you win a prize?
Yeah.
You won a
TV? they picked it was called the Best in Fur. Yeah, I had to go pick it up. It was massive, and I'm excited, but I don't know where I'm going to put it. I have to find a spot.
Well, as in every holiday, cruise lines do it up, whether it's from the drinks to just the decorations to the food to dance competitions to movies, you name it. Here's some Ashley pictures. Ashley, you want to talk about this a little bit? This is on the Disney Dream. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. Disney
Oh,
goes
that's
all
all
out.
good.
Disney Halloween, as you would imagine, is insane. When you board the ship, they have this weird looking haunted tree in the atrium, and it blooms overnight into Halloween. So when you wake up in the morning on Halloween day, it's got these jack-o'-lanterns hanging from its branches. It's really cool. And they do like story time for kids. Nothing too scary, of course, because it is Disney and it is family friendly. They do a giant party in the atrium. I'm talking 3 decks, family themes, every family member's dressed up in some crazy costume that they've spent weeks putting together. And then after hours, when the kids go to bed, they have an adult costume contest. And again, nothing inappropriate, nothing raunchy, but just really good, solid, well-made costumes. And that photo that you just showed, they do a lot of cool things with their characters too. So like that was Jack and Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. And they are not characters that you will see on the ship all year round. They only come out around Halloween. So they screened the movie. One thing to know about Disney is they have I think it's called the Buena Vista Theater on every ship. There's the tree. And in the theater, they show not only first run Disney movies like what are showing in the theaters right now, but they also show like throwback ones. So on my sailing for Halloween, they showed The Nightmare Before Christmas. And then immediately after, they had a surprise character meet and greet. So if you were able to, they showed it pretty late at night. So if you were able to stay up late enough, you were rewarded with the character meet and greet after. So that was pretty cool. And I made the mistake of thinking that people would be wearing costumes all day on Halloween, and they really weren't. And I found that out because I put mine on and was walking around like a fool and was like the only one dressed up.
I would have as well, though, honestly. I would have had a couple costumes and traded out through the day too. So
yeah, the strange thing too is that, and I talked with someone else who's been on a Disney Halloween sailing. My costume was Vanellope von Schweetz from Wreck-It Ralph, because the sailing I was on was the sailing when they launched Vanellope's sweet shop on the ship. So this car is, anyone who knows the movie knows that Vanellope is in a video game called, oh God, I think it's not Candy Crush. It's something like that. I don't think it's Candy Crush. Anyway.
Something like that.
So anyway, Vanellope's Sweet Shop, it's an ice cream parlor and a candy store. As you can see here, you can get Vanellope sundaes in the car that she races in the video game. So the movie, for anyone who hasn't seen it, is sort of a throwback to old school video games. It's about an arcade, and the characters that work inside each of the video games can kind of go in between each other's games, and it focuses a lot on Vanellope and her race car career. So found a way to tie it in with the sailing. But the strange thing is that on every Disney sailing, they have a pirate night where you can dress up as a pirate, and they've got pirate themed activities and a fireworks display, which is really cool. But it's strange because on a lot of their Halloween sailings, they schedule pirate night for the same night as Halloween. And I guess it's good for people who only want to bring one costume, but for people who want to participate in pirate night and not necessarily go as a pirate for Halloween on the ship, it means that you have to do a wardrobe change. So if you have a complicated costume, it's kind of a pain. This was the pirate-themed dinner with all of the pirate-themed drinks.
This is the Embarrass Ashley show.
Yes, apparently. Thank you for that. You're muted, Heather. Heather, you're muted.
What are those drinks? Do you remember?
I do not. That sailing was probably, I'd say like 4 years ago, maybe ish, 4 or 5 years. Shout out to my friend Linnanne, who was my travel companion on that sailing. She went as Boo from Monsters, Inc.
Let me see.
The costumes, though, I just can't say enough about how creative they were. There was a whole group of adults who went as the Mickey Mouse Club. There was a whole family who went as all the characters from Cinderella, and the grandmother was traveling with them. She made all of the costumes herself by hand. They were better than the costumes I've seen at Disney. And she, of course, went as the fairy godmother, which was amazing. There's Groot. Yep. Lots of Super Mario we saw. So I actually found Wreck-It Ralph, Fix-It Felix, and I cannot remember her name, but the woman who ends up marrying Ralph, or Felix, sorry. Another Vanellope. Yep. Lots of really cool, like, family themed costume ideas. And I'm not kidding. I've never been to a more raucous party on any ship than the Disney Halloween party. It seriously, three decks in the atrium, shoulder to shoulder people just dancing and having a great time.
That looks
Mary
like
Poppins.
a blast.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. And I just couldn't believe how into it people got. Like, you go on other sailings on Halloween, and the pictures I've seen, it's like, maybe a third of the ship participates, if that. But this was just about everyone. It was really cool.
I think even more than just being really cool, and I guess that's probably just Disney versus. I would not be able to share pictures of Carnival if they did a Halloween party like that. So to that perspective, I think it's really great that these costumes are not only really elaborate and really well done, but they're really classy. I mean, I think I saw a couple costumes in there that, I mean, shoot, we live in the Gaslamp here in San Diego, and you're going to see Joker costumes that would certainly not be appropriate for the show to put on the air. And so I really appreciate that. I wish we could kind of get back to that day. I hate to say, like, I'm an old man or whatever, but that looks really, really fun. I just, for those who are willing to spend the money for Disney, they're going to get their money's worth. But I wish that
absolutely
you could have an experience like that wasn't going to cost as much money as Disney would cost on other cruise lines.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. And I think, to your point, you can take literally any costume, any character, and add sort of a sleazy component to it, and people will buy it, which is a shame. It's not creative. It's a costume out of a box. What is special about that? But the people on Disney just really got into it. And of course, some of them were store-bought, but I mean, a lot of them were handmade, and you could tell that a lot of effort went into it.
I think a lot of that might just be a Disney thing in general, though, because I have a couple friends that, shout out to Jason Sasaki from Sasaki Time, but he actually dresses up on a normal basis and goes to the parks. He has a Spider-Man suit that he wears, like, and it's not.
Are you allowed to do that?
No, you're not allowed to do that. It's for Dapper Day.
Hold on a second. It's not a Spider-Man suit like the full face mask and stuff. It's literally a suit, like a I'm going to go to work kind of suit, but it's all themed to the Spider-Man stuff. He goes around and takes pictures and that kind of stuff. He literally lives, the spirit. He was in the, I think, Orange County Register this week because he was taking a picture by the what's the guy from Wakanda, but the guy who just died. But anyhow, he was taking a selfie of the big huge mural that just went up, in his Spider-Man costume, kind of, being part of the whole Avengers crew. And it's just kind of, he's one person. I happen to be a really good friend with him, but there's literally thousands of people who dress up for Dapper Days and dress up for whatever costumes and just live the Disney spirit. And I think it's a testament to how rich the Disney pantheon is, and how they embrace and they understand the value of storytelling.
Well, that's what I was going to say is he goes all out making his costumes for Dapper Day. I would love to go one day to it. I mean, people do make such elaborate costumes. They'll pick, like, let's say you have Minnie Mouse, but they'll make her look like she's from the 1920s. It's really cool, the stuff they do. And I guess there's a whole convention around it as well. So
that's so fun. So yeah, I mean, other lines do things too. I think there are a few that actually have, like, trick-or-treating throughout the ship for kids. Public areas you can go, and the people working will kind of drop some candy in your bucket. Oh, that's so cute.
And I don't know who these other two people are, but I don't think they're his parents. I think he just enjoys, seeing other people that are also dressed up. I mean, clearly it's a Disney Mickey Mouse tuxedo. So I just think it's really cool what Disney does. But you're right. It's not. This is not a Disney story. I think the other lines do some cool stuff too, which I have some drink stuff. But Heather, let me know what you want to throw up there for those lines too.
Yeah. Carnival, from everything I've read, sounds really exciting. Not only for, kids, but the adult side. Let me tell you some of the things they have going on Carnival. You can they have costume parties and contests, of course, for kids, adults, and then throughout the whole ship, you have the Halloween decorations. And they may be on the ships, a little bit before Halloween as well. Trick-or-treating, not only for kids, but adults too. They do pumpkin carving. James, do you have the video or the picture of the pumpkin carving?
I like the pineapple.
They have some adult-only events, which include the casino will host different events. Let's see here. Just, different things going on in the casino, like, free $5 if you do this, or, on a machine. Trivia on Halloween, which, Carnival's great with their trivia. The youth programs feature costume contests, dance parties, and games for all the kids.
And they have the dive-in movies.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They'll have, and they specifically say they'll call it like the dive-in movies horror night. So they tell you to be aware with kids that they are scary movies, so you may not want your kids out there at night.
And according to this too, it says that while obviously the big party is Halloween, but that Carnival celebrates Halloween month, and so throughout the month of October, there's also other stuff too. So, I mean, I haven't looked at the date and the dates and the costs, Heather, but I'm sure that there's a considerable premium for Halloween, the way there is for any other major holiday. But if you don't want to do that, it looks like you can still have a great time, even if you sail, October 15th or something.
Exactly. And then they have Halloween foods, cocktails, and they also have, after the movie, if you're still up and still ready to party, they have a festive 18 and up Halloween dance party on the ship. So, I mean, they've got a lot of stuff going on. Lots and lots of stuff. They also have drinks. James, do you have pictures of the drinks? Or I can't read that. I'm trying to see. They've got...
So, like, they have the Witch's Brew, which is Bacardi rum ginger ale over ice, topped with a floater of raspberry liqueur. Ghostly Spirits, all the ghoulish fun without the alcohol. Yeah, we'll skip over that one. Green Goblin. It looks like they're just straight up. To be honest, I'm kind of disappointed with those. Like, they have, Halloween names, but I would think you could do something a little over the top. But I guess that's not really Carnival.
They're affordable though, which is nice to see.
No, yeah, totally, they're affordable. I mean, they're nice. I'm sure they'll be fun, except for I don't know which one that is, but I'm sure it has Midori in it, and I absolutely hate Midori. So
I'm gonna guess the one is the Green Goblin. Just a hunch.
You're probably right. But I mean, honestly, at the same time, that's kind of one of those fun things to sail when it's different. I mean, that's why Heather and I have enjoyed. Like when we went to New England on Carnival Glory a few years ago. I mean, for the most part, Carnival Glory is the same ship, no matter where you are. But there was little tweaks that were kind of fun there. When we went to Alaska on Jewel, Norwegian Jewel, it was kind of fun having some of the warm drinks that even though they probably had. You probably could have made it if I was in Puerto Rico. It was a lot more interesting having a hot chocolate drink or a coffee drink in Alaska where it was actually cold instead of 90 degrees and 100% humidity.
I I think it's great that they offer a non-alcoholic drink, not only for kids, but for those who do not drink and still want to feel kind of festive for the holiday, or even if it doesn't look festive, at least, hey, I'm having one of their Halloween drinks. I mean, food-wise, I didn't see any pictures of their food, but I'm sure if you've ever been on Carnival, now, I haven't been on Carnival for 4 years, I think, on an overnight trip, but they usually have one night a Mexican buffet late at night. And they usually do that up really with their decorations and the carvings of the fruits really beautifully. And when they used to do the chocolate lunchtime buffet for dessert, those were all decorated. So I can only imagine how much fun that the pastry chefs and the chefs had, get into their artistry for Halloween. It's got to be amazing. And I'm sure they probably do their ice carvings as well out there, big pumpkin or something like that. But no, I think Carnival probably would be, adult-wise, a really fun place to be for it, because not that Carnival is the wild and crazy, but they do have a little bit more fun, I think, than some of the other lines.
I agree. I think that I'm sure the piano bar would be absolutely phenomenal that night, and I don't necessarily go to the nightclub, disco, whatever it is, but I think especially with the newer ships where the theater is also transformed into the disco at night. I think that would be a really great spot to, even if you don't want to dance and get your groove on, simply to show up and watch people and look at the costumes going in and out. Because I'm sure there will be some, actually there probably won't be that much inappropriate stuff. I'm sure Carnival will keep that to a minimum, but just flamboyant and over the top kind of fun costumes would be really fun to just sit in the chairs on the balcony and watch people.
Well, also think about it, like if you're on a Joe Farkas ship, done away with a lot of Joe Farkas ships. If you don't know what a Joe Farkas ship is, he was a designer who did a lot of the earlier designs of Carnival. I think he stopped when they started the Dream. Am I correct with that? Or maybe it was something else. Yeah. And he's got some pretty cool designs. Like one of the comedy theaters actually on a ship that we're going on next March is all Alice in Wonderland themed. So, hey, you can have a party when it's not Halloween. But he's got some really cool stuff. I don't know, are you showing Joe Farkas? Yes. I love that. Isn't that awesome?
And that's Carnival Miracle, which we're putting together group cruise for. So if anybody wants to join us as a Back to the Sea thing, Heather will be talking more about that.
Yes, I'm calling it Back to the Sea because it's basically, it'll be a year since everything shut down, and get back out there and have a blast. It's a 4-day cruise from San Diego to Catalina and Ensenada and back to San Diego. Just to put in my little plug there. Prices start at $3.99 and top off at $4.99. And there'll be fun things to do, of course. Now moving over. What? Ashley needs to come out here for that.
And actually, before we jump on to the next cruise line, as far as food, I hadn't really thought about we talked about the special drinks on Disney, but one thing the parks are really, really well known for, not just for Halloween but for all the seasons, is doing some really imaginative Halloween food. I saw your pictures, but it looked like there was just like the normal food. It looked delicious. Disney always has good food, but were there Halloween churros and different kinds of Halloween hot dogs and that kind of stuff?
To be honest with you, I don't remember any special menu items. I'd have to look back at all my copious amounts of menu photos. But they had, I know I'm forgetting things that they did. Like even I mentioned Jack and Sally, but even the normal characters on board, like Mickey and Minnie and stuff, were dressed up in costumes, which was kind of fun. So, they do put a Halloween twist on just about everything.
Cool.
Now, another question I had for you, really quick, Ashley, is churros. At least out here in out at the Disneyland. Don't want to screw that up. And DCA are like the biggest thing ever. So they'll have during Halloween 5, 6, 7 different varieties of churros, like a pumpkin spice sugar with the cream cheese dip. Do the cruise lines do do churros on the ship?
I do not know. They may have, and but I don't remember them.
I was just wondering.
Standing out. I didn't even know it was a thing, but now I'm gonna have to look out for them because I love churros.
And also,
well, then when you come out here for the cruise,
Dole Whips.
I have heard of these things, but I've never had one. Can you refresh my memory what they are?
Oh my gosh, Dole Whip is so good. It's at the Tiki Room at Disneyland. It's hard when you're from the East Coast. You keep wanting to say Disney World, and then moving out here, I have to make sure I say Disneyland because I'll get yelled at otherwise. But in the Tiki Room, they originated it. It's a non-dairy pineapple frozen treat. Yes, it looks like that. That's a Dole Whip. But the best part of the Dole Whip you have to have is not that. Does it show another one? A full Dole Whip will have the pineapple juice and pineapple tidbits in the ice cream or the frozen dessert, because it's not ice cream. It's dairy free. There you go. And it'll be floating in there like a root beer float.
Okay, you're selling me on this. I'm not sure how I feel about the fruit chunks, but
do you like pineapple?
I love pineapple. I think I'm allergic to it though because it makes my mouth itch. But I've heard that from a lot of people, so maybe that's just what pineapple does.
Well, I tell you what, you when COVID is over, or when you feel safe to fly, you are going to have to come out here. We will actually Disney is. I mean, who knows what's going to be after things reopen? But Disney historically has been really liberal with providing bloggers and influencers with free passes. So instead of paying $120 a day to go,
I don't mind paying.
Okay, well,
either way,
the cast members and stockholders of Disney Corporation appreciate that.
But moving on from Disney, we could talk about Disney all day. I can't wait to go on a Disney cruise. I keep asking James, but the 2-day Disney cruise out of here is over $1,000 for an inside cabin. So I think, and
they sell out. So God bless them, and God bless the people with money and lots of kids, because they're clearly filling a market space.
I don't know how people with families afford it, but I will say, in my opinion, it is worth every penny. It's on another level. And if you are an adult who, I don't have any children, and so I went on the cruise with no children, and I had a fabulous time. So if you are an adult worried about that, don't be.
And basically, people tell me you don't have to worry about kids getting in your way, because if you want to do adult stuff, you can do adult stuff without even seeing a kid.
Yeah, and their kids clubs are so phenomenal. Yeah, the kids clubs are amazing enough that a lot of times the kids don't want to leave. So it's not like they're sitting around getting into trouble or running up and down the hallways. They usually are pretty well behaved. But so, I mean, in terms of Halloween on a ship, are there any really fun nautical themed costume ideas you guys can think of? I'm
oh god.
So let's throw Royal Caribbean into the mix before we.
Why not a Titanic?
Yeah.
No.
I did have a friend once. I had a friend once who wanted a towel animal.
Heather, I like your jokes, but that joke didn't go down very well.
I know. Ha ha.
Oh, that was silence. That thing dropped to the bottom of the ocean.
So what are you showing now, James? You're muted.
This is Halloween on Royal Caribbean. The other thing you sent me.
Oh,
So
yes.
just
From
to make
Royal
sure.
Caribbean blog. Who should be paid by? No, I'm not even gonna. I won't even go there.
I think they are. I think they are paid. If not paid in cash, probably paid by. Well, actually, you know what? I'm sure this works phenomenally well for them in terms of lead generation. So I'm sure they're being taken care of. But
Our listeners don't want to hear about that. Let's get down to the Halloween stuff here.
so no, I just wanted to make sure that they're included in the mixture too, because I think my gut tells me that probably if you're really looking for Halloween, that Carnival and Disney are probably the two best ones to go to. But Royal Caribbean, to be honest, I'm not sure where they stand now, but I know they had the was it DreamWorks relationship, and then that dropped, and then they're Nickelodeon. Is that right? Nickelodeon's their thing now, or what are they?
I didn't hear about that. I know Norwegian used to have a partnership with Nickelodeon that
Okay,
got dropped, and Royal was DreamWorks, and that got dropped. So I don't know. I don't know if there is something with Royal now and Nickelodeon, but I didn't hear that.
Gotcha. No, you're probably right. I was getting that confused because, to be honest, on the character stuff, I try to avoid anyhow. But it's still for kids and for families and people who enjoy it. I think that's really cool to have those characters. Like I know there's a picture of Heather and I with Shrek somewhere from the character parade that we'll not share because I don't know where that is or in what state of enjoyment we were in.
Worth mentioning too is Carnival has Dr. Seuss with the cat and hat parade and the breakfast, and so each line kind of has had.
That would be great costumes, and I'm not saying Cat in the Hat specifically, but like you could be. I actually thought about this for this costume, like Cindy Lou Who. Do something totally, another Dr. Seuss kind of thing, and then
So it looks like they do some cool, pumpkin carving and stuff. I mean, I don't know how all in they go compared to some of the others, but certainly, with the different parade, I don't know what's that supposed to be.
That's from the Ring. That's from the Ring.
Oh yeah.
I think
they turn their on air into a haunted house.
Oh, that's kind of scary right there.
So.
Is that what it is?
Yes, it's a haunted house they do on the ship.
Gotcha. And here's some stuff from the UK. So it looks like Explore the Seas has a costume parade through the Royal Promenade and a dance party. So I think that a lot of the ships are going to have something, but I definitely think that from what we've gathered, definitely Disney and Carnival are the ones to go to if you want a party atmosphere. But I think that's probably true in general. But Royal Caribbean does a great job with families in just what they do for catering to the core family market. So I don't think you can go wrong either.
I will say, and it wasn't listed on any Royal Caribbean stuff I found, but being on a holiday cruise through Royal Caribbean, I can tell you they do like some of their fun activities that they do would be an adult martini making lesson, and it'll be themed. Like I did, a holiday themed martini lesson. So we got to make 4 different martinis and to take those recipes with us. Like we didn't make them. They showed us, we drank, and they gave us the list to take home. So I could see that being something amazing at Halloween as well. And if they don't do it, then they're missing out because it costs $25 per person to do that. So if they're not Royal Caribbean, you should be doing that at Halloween as well.
I agree. So Ashley, you posed the question of what would some
agreed. I think there's a lot of room to
costumes be. So
what? James, are you there? What were you saying?
I was saying Ashley proposed the question of what would be some fun cruising costumes. So I'm throwing the question back at her to answer.
You're throwing it back at me.
I think Raggedy Ann and Andy.
I had a friend once who went as but like nautical theme. I was thinking I had a friend who went as a towel animal.
That was great.
I mean, Captain obviously comes to mind, but I feel like that's almost too easy. Oh my goodness!
How about Function Freddy? I don't know if that would be allowed because it seems like it's a full-on mask, but it looks like there's actually somebody has a hat, so that would be kind of fun. So you could do a hat and a polo.
Yeah, or paint your face and have like have a cutout.
I wish they'd bring Funship Freddy back, but I guess the feedback was that some of the kids were getting scared by it, which is kind of a scary.
Terrifying.
James. Oh, I was just going to say to James, show the picture of your dad. We just bought him a really awesome birthday present for when he goes cruising next. I think you'll like it, Ashley. That would be a good. You'll see it and you'll be like, oh, that's a good costume.
Okay. Speaking of, while we're waiting, speaking of like cruise kid-friendly mascots, has either of you seen Do Re Mi from MSC? He's
No.
He's like the MSC logo, but he's like a character. Okay. Yeah, he's a little terrifying. I get scared and I'm an adult.
So just so you don't think that dressing up is only a Halloween thing, here's us sort of dressed up for Christmas.
Oh, Heather, I love the way you've repurposed the glasses. And I have to say, your makeup today is awesome. It's so well done.
Thanks. My first time I was trying. But yeah, no, I like to repurpose stuff. I keep all my Halloween costumes. I didn't want to get it out for today, though, because that would involve me digging underneath the stairs and moving a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I keep all my costumes and I reuse them for other things as well. Did you get that picture of your dad?
That's hilarious. I like it.
Yeah.
And it's easy to pack. Just a hat and a t-shirt. That's great.
So here's the cool thing. So he's a Pinnacle on Royal Caribbean. He said he's going to wear it to the specialty restaurant, this Ocean Blue or whatever it is. And I'm like, well, it's a t-shirt. You can't wear that. And he goes, well, yeah, I can. So that'll be interesting to see if that passes muster, as it were.
You could just put a real tie on top of it.
Yeah.
Another great costume idea, and James has the shirt. It's a shirt kind of like that, is the tourist idea. His shirt has a picture of a Polaroid camera. It's like a Hawaiian shirt, and it's got a Polaroid camera. So you could, put on a visor, white socks up high, totally geek that out.
Yeah. I mean, something else that is sort of stemming off of this costume talk that I'm thinking might be good to let people know about is how to pack when you're packing extra stuff that's required for a costume. I mean, you even have to, if you're one of those carry-on only travelers, it's going to be a little challenging, especially if you're taking things like makeup, like cream makeup or something to paint your face. And one really important thing that came up for me when I did my Halloween sailing was they specifically told us, do not pack any fake weapons. Like if your costume is a pirate, for example, don't pack a sword. Don't, if you're going as a cowboy, don't pack a gun. And that's, it might be obvious to some people, but maybe not so obvious to others, especially if you're flying. That could be something that gets confiscated.
You're totally right on that.
Yeah. But even
I never thought about that, but
yeah, even just like if you need a last minute costume, you could always, if you're staying overnight in port the night before you leave, stop off at a costume shop or a Target or a Walmart and buy something to take on with you and donate it before you leave if you don't want to pack it or carry it with you. If
you're sailing out of Port Canaveral, there's tons and tons and tons of Disney kitschy costume kind of stuff that even going to Walmart, you're going to be able to put together a costume pretty easily. That's because people do that naturally for Walmart, for Disney parks and Universal too.
Well, for example, last year when I was Ginger, James, I know you've got the picture of that, or I do on Facebook somewhere, but that was an easy costume. I just took, it could be the dress you wear for formal night if you wanted. That's what I was wearing. And long gloves, and I just put a wig on. I mean, and James, he just had a blue polo, khakis, and that hat. And it's totally easy, and that doesn't require tons of extra stuff. So if you want to be thrifty on your packing, think of things that you're already taking and what can you utilize for a costume. Then it makes it easy.
Exactly. Yep. And you can never go wrong with things like, oh, that's awesome. With something like what Heather's wearing right now, the reindeer glasses, or some sort of like the mini ears, smaller items that you can just slip on to a regular outfit to make it clear what you are or what you're going as, that really don't take up a lot of space in your luggage.
And they're making so many, like if you want to be a superhero, t-shirts with capes that really don't take up that much. But going back to themed stuff on a cruise, yeah, like my Raggedy Ann and Andy doll are kind of sailors, so that could be a good one. Anything from the Love Boat. Oh, the Love Boat would be good. Could be Julie running around, or yeah, I mean, there's endless possibilities. I say Titanic, and that would be horrible, but at the same time, it would be great.
Well, like a Jack and Rose couple theme, I think would be acceptable.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's totally fine.
You can even do something really easy, actually. Like if you took a rollable, actually, it'd probably be more difficult than I'm thinking, but like you could do a drink pretty easily by just simply taking a piece of poster board, a couple pieces of poster board, wrapping them around, and you just make a straw that comes out, and you're in the middle of the drink.
It's true.
I mean,
yeah, and if all else fails,
like,
grab the sheet off your. If all else fails, grab the sheet off your bed and pretend it's a toga party.
But I like the towel animal one, or the towel. I'm not sure what you said. The towel animal thing, that'd be pretty cool too.
Towel animal. I think she was a towel elephant, if I remember correctly. She got one of those like. They make these. It's almost like a jumper made out of terry cloth, and she got a white one. I guess you can like wear them from like the bathroom into. It's almost like a robe, but it's more like a dress with straps. So she got a terry cloth one and wore it and made like this headpiece with 2 hand towels coming off the side to look like ears. It was really cute, and I don't remember if she painted her face. I don't think she did, but it was really adorable.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys my costume, but I will ask you guys this in a little bit too. What are the easiest costumes you've ever had involving the least amount of equipment or whatever? I will say mine was a black-eyed pea. All I did was have a black eye and the letter P around my neck.
That's creative and super easy.
Exactly.
Honestly, I think it was just a year. I was in college. I was super busy and forgot to get a costume. And so I went to the store and bought, it was like one of those prepackaged cat ear headbands with a tail and a collar. And that was pretty much it, which I don't like to talk about extensively because it's embarrassing. I feel like I let myself down.
After I graduated college, I went back for Halloween because I'm one of those people. Kent State has really great Halloween, and I took a happy birthday gift bag and put it on cardboard in the front back, and I put it over and then put some tissue paper up in the front and the back and put a bow on my head. And my friend, he did the same thing, and we were birthday presents. So we could still wear the same outfit. It was really easy. And then my other friend and her husband, they got a bunch of toilet paper, and I had Burger King crowns, and they were king and queen mummy. So
that's cute.
Really easy kind of costumes, to do. I love the creative costumes, sitting there trying to figure something out, or, some people are like, what is that person? But I love it. I think those are the best costumes.
So I have wanted to do this for years now and just never had a reason to do it. I would like to save it for a Royal Caribbean cruise around Halloween, if that ever happens for me. Do you guys know who Henry is? or what Henry is? Okay.
In regards to what? Like what context?
Royal Caribbean.
I know Harry.
Harry. No. No. So
We're all gonna dress up like Harry from.
the vacuum cleaners that they have are like those. They're like the canister vacuums with the like hoses on them, but they're like Henry vacuums and they've got faces on them. And I just think Henry, he's got like this weird cult following, but they're the most adorable vacuum cleaners. And I hate to sound like I'm obsessed with vacuums because that's weird, but I really want to go as Henry one year for Halloween. And I've had it. No, I'm not kidding you. I put it in my phone as a reminder like 3 years ago. So every like October 1st, I get a reminder, go as Henry for Halloween, like to give myself enough time to make the costume. And I just keep postponing it a year because I need like a good occasion to do it.
That's a great idea, though. I mean, honestly, and that's thinking about, going on a cruise ship for Halloween, doing something that's kind of funny on the cruise ship, pulling out a character like that. That's awesome. James, do you have a picture of it? Here he goes.
Well, no, I was gonna say another really, really easy one would be simply bringing a Hawaiian shirt and a lei, and you're just a tourist. I mean, it's maybe not going to get as many laughs, as many whatever. What the heck just popped up there? But certainly it's an interesting way. So I'm going to pop up another one. I found a little bit of the shirt that Heather was talking about. Let's see here. Oh, here it is.
You got to find Henry before we end here, because now I want everyone.
Well, hold on a second.
Okay.
So here's another riff on that the Hawaiian shirt thing. So that's the shirt that Heather bought for me and my dad. With you can see the Polaroid camera in there, and when you look at it straight on, it actually does kind of look like you have a big camera around your neck. But that's not Halloween. That's Geek Spring Break, also known as Comic-Con. But it's a lot of fun. So we're looking for Henry.
Yes. Henry, Royal Caribbean.
Just search Henry vacuum. He's not exclusive to Royal, but I just see him on Royal ships a lot. I really want to buy one, but they're UK, made in the UK,
fantastic.
So they've got the UK plugs, which is annoying.
That's fantastic. I'd never. I mean, now that I see it, I know exactly what you're talking about.
There he is. Yes, and there's like different colors and they have different names, and
I've seen the blue ones.
The blue one's right there. In the middle there. Oh my god, there's even a little tiny one for cleaning up your keyboard or whatever.
I have it. It's a keyboard vacuum. It has various attachments and it actually works. One of my former coworkers got it for me as a Secret Santa gift because she knew I was obsessed.
Now, I reached out to Norwegian to see if they do anything special, and I was just told they do your usual, drinks, decorations, maybe party, that kind of thing. So if anybody who's watching this video at a later date and you know specifically what Norwegian does, make a comment to let people know, because no one on my board that I was talking to knew anything about their Halloween. And, they're really good with a lot of parties, so I'm assuming they do a good job. They have their white night party and other theme parties. So, no, but now you got me thinking, Ashley. I will say this. Now I'm totally thinking creating a costume that goes with each cruise line. Now that you talked about
not a bad idea.
Royal Caribbean and
there's the rubber ducky.
Oh my god. That's fantastic.
That's actually from a couple years ago.
Oh my god, your straps are shower hooks. That's amazing. Oh my god.
By the way, that costume only works in places like California where there's no humidity, because even in the humidity that we have, that whatever it is head that I had was unbearable, and I wasn't thinking about Heather, but that shower curtain apparently got extremely uncomfortable.
Oh, yep.
So it might not be the best cruise cruise costume, but it worked
It's
really well
creative,
in
though.
California.
That's
And it's,
another thing to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's easy to do because whatever height you are, you just cut off the end of the shower curtain to match the height on the bottom. So,
Yeah, that's a good thing to consider, though, James. If you're going to be bringing a costume on your cruises, where you're cruising to, because if you're in the Caribbean, you don't want to be wearing something big and bulky and heavy that's going to make you sweat, especially if
Yeah.
you're partying outside. And if you're somewhere chillier, bundle up.
And that's why just having a funky hat or Mardi Gras beads or a boa or something like that can go a long way. I think I'm I admire the people who go all in and who get something like as elaborate as the Disney ones we showed. But even as you showed, I mean, you could do a pirate pretty convincingly with a hat that's relatively easy to pack and some maybe gold Mardi Gras beads around your neck and some boots, and there you go.
well, for example,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead, finish because he's talking.
If the pirate thing is something you're considering for Disney in particular, they do hand out eye patches and bandanas for people who didn't bring anything. So, I mean, worst case scenario, you'll be able to get involved somehow if you're on a Disney cruise, because they'll give you that at least for pirate night, and then you can repurpose.
It'd be a really easy costume for next year is a ninja. You have a black headband, a black face mask, a black shirt, and black pants. And you're probably gonna still have to wear the mask next year, so you got the mask taken care of.
No, let's be positive here about the mask situation.
I will give everyone a tip to my madness. And this is a sad tip because honestly, I have concerns about still going in places because I have asthma and different lung issues, and I won't be able to do it this year. But the day after Halloween is the best time to find costumes. I go in the stores as soon as they open at 7 a.m. and I'm not necessarily looking for even a full costume because I am a bigger person, so costumes usually aren't going to fit me anyway. So I'll go into Target and find accessories to put together something. And I do that, and then I'll go to the Halloween stores, which usually are only 40% off, but people go in and buy stuff up right away. So I travel to usually a couple different stores and buying stuff, and that's how I create a good costume box that if somebody were to have a party, I'm all ready for. Any time of year you want to have a costume party, I'm up for it, and I'll have something ready to go. So I guess on that end,
And hell, I just enjoy wearing costumes. I think costumes are fun. I usually here in San Diego we get 2 Halloweens a year, and we get an entire week where you can wear costumes and stuff. And
2 Halloweens?
Comic-Con.
If Comic-Con.
Oh! I'm sorry. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, plus actually there probably is at least 2 Halloweens because you have the Halloween night, and then you have whatever weekend is closest to Halloween for the gas lamp. But no, I mean wearing a costume is fun. Wearing something that allows you to express a little bit different personality for a night or a couple days is fun. And the really important thing for those of you who maybe aren't as into mask wearing and costume wearing as I was before. Once I got kind of over that, it's fun. Like you don't need to go out and spend $1,000 on a costume. You don't need to sit there and go, well, I'm too fat for the ones that come into they come in little packets at Walmart. Make your own. Try something fun. You figure out what you can do, and that's really the key. That's the confidence and the fun that you exude is as much of importance as the quality, the expensiveness of your actual costume, and that's something that really Heather has helped me understand, and I want other people to understand too.
Well, as Ashley was saying, the pirate. I mean, James, I had him just wear a white button-down shirt, jeans, and I had these fake, things to look like boots. And he had a wig that was a pirate's wig and a patch. I mean, how easy? That's easy. So anybody can do that kind of stuff. But whatever you're doing, if you think you want to go on a cruise at Halloween, you should. As Ashley has said, it's a great time. And if you like, a good party and costume party, why not? You're guaranteed to have a good time, and you don't have to drive anywhere. You're not going to be put in charge of driving, the ship. So that's also a plus for a lot of people. Does anyone else have anything left to say?
I also want to just throw out that make your costume unique, make your costume personal to you. I mean, I think I've shown a couple different pictures here. I've done this gorilla mask a few different times. I was a devil gorilla with I put some little what do you call it, little barrette or whatever the hair thing is with the horns on it, and wore my AC/DC shirt. I was just a regular gorilla wearing simply a black shirt. And today I'm the rock and roll gorilla, with my Winslow, Arizona shirt. So I think that the key is really just having fun and doing something that's unique to you and unique to the moment, rather than sitting there going, okay, well, I bought this mask so I can only use it once, or I bought this mask, I'm going to do the same character 15 times.
Yeah, some of my best costumes have come from repurposing costumes from previous years. It's amazing what you'll find you can use. Speaking of gorillas, actually, when I made my gritty costume, I had a pair of gorilla gloves and a mask in the basement from years ago. And I didn't use the mask, but I repurposed the gloves I spray painted them orange and repurposed them for his hands. So you'll be amazed what you can reuse things for.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, unfortunately, there are no Halloween cruises, but let's look ahead for next year. If you start thinking about wanting to book, you can always contact me, at Flow Voyages. Just let's get back on those ships as soon as we can and enjoy these parties that we've loved so much. And Halloween is one of those times that it's great to be on a cruise ship. But thank you guys for watching today. We'll see you all next week. Bye.